The movie begins with a mysterious, burning object crashing into a dense forest. A deer watches the strange phenomenon and becomes the first victim of an unknown creature. Meanwhile, Ruth and her boyfriend, Harry, are driving along a scenic forest road on their way to a hiking trip. Harry, full of energy and excitement, tries to cheer up Ruth, who seems uneasy and out of her element. Through their conversation, we learn that Ruth is more comfortable surfing than hiking and feels inexplicably anxious in the forest. Ruth and Harry, who have been in a relationship for 6 years, use this trip as an opportunity to grow closer. They stop at a quaint roadside cafe for breakfast, their last touch with civilization before delving into the wild. Ruth occupies herself with a naturalist's guide, reading about the local flora and fauna. Their peaceful breakfast is interrupted by a young boy, the son of one of the employees, who awkwardly starts a conversation about a fallen meteorite. This strange encounter raises Ruth's anxiety level, but Harry reassures her and persuades her to continue with the trip. As they venture deeper into the majestic forest, the atmosphere shifts ominously, hinting at the dangers lurking within. Harry tries to distract Ruth with stories from his past, including his first kiss, and reassures her of his protection. When they set up camp, Ruth struggles with pitching the tent, reflecting her discomfort and unfamiliarity with the wilderness. Harry helps her, displaying his patience and care. At night, Ruth is awakened by a need to relieve herself and becomes frightened by mysterious sounds and shadows in the forest. She believes she saw a deer, but Harry calms her, explaining that deer are common in the area and often curious about people. The next morning, Harry takes Ruth to a cliff offering a breathtaking view. He confesses his feelings and proposes to her, but Ruth, overwhelmed by her emotions and anxiety, suffers a panic attack. She takes her medication as Harry looks on, concerned and disappointed. Their relationship tension comes to a head as they discuss marriage. Harry believes Ruth's refusal is due to her psychological issues and her parents' divorce, while Ruth asks for understanding and acceptance of her fears. They argue but manage to reach a tentative truce, agreeing to continue their hike. The next day, Harry leaves a note for Ruth, saying he went for a walk. Ruth attempts to call her doctor but struggles to find a signal. As she searches for a spot with reception, she stumbles upon the remains of the deer, its body split and covered in blue slime. Terrified, Ruth is soon found by Harry, who calms her and examines the remains, suggesting it's a disease. That evening, they discuss marriage again and seem to reach a temporary peace. The following morning, while Harry prepares breakfast, Ruth explores the forest and discovers a small grotto filled with the same blue slime. She becomes increasingly uneasy and strange, no longer sleeping and acting distant. Harry, sensing something is wrong, is disheartened but hopeful when Ruth suddenly agrees to marry him, with the condition that he proposes again at the cliff. As they reach the cliff, Ruth accepts Harry's proposal, but then violently attacks him, pushing him off the cliff. She watches his body lifelessly hit the shore below, a mix of satisfaction and horror in her eyes, before fleeing through the forest. Exhausted and injured, Ruth collapses and is found by tourists, Ray and Vivian. They give her water and try to help her, though Ruth pretends to have amnesia. Her behavior becomes increasingly suspicious, as she eyes their knife and seems more focused on it than on their conversation. Harry, now possessed by an alien entity, reappears, his demeanor eerily different. He quickly kills Ray and pursues Ruth and Vivian. Ruth realizes that the Real Harry died in the cave, and the alien has been using his body. The alien explains he is a scout from another planet, sent to survey Earth for an impending invasion. Despite his mission, he has developed emotions for Ruth due to Harry's lingering feelings. Ruth uses this to her advantage, agreeing to go with him to a safe planet but secretly planning her escape. She lures the alien to the beach, where sharks are drawn to the blood trail. A brutal struggle ensues, with the alien fending off the sharks and Ruth trying to find a way to defeat him. Despite being severely injured, the alien survives and continues to pursue Ruth. Desperate, Ruth finds Ray and Vivian's campsite, but it's deserted except for Ray's severed hand. Overcome by panic, She takes her last pill and is soon captured by the alien, who places her in a cocoon in a cave. As he prepares to transform Harry's body and assume Ruth's identity, he delivers a philosophical monologue about love and existence. Ruth, exploiting his emotional turmoil, manages to break free and fatally injure him. Ruth escapes the cave, gets into a car, and drives away, her mind racing with doubt about her identity. As she leaves the forest, the sky fills with alien ships, signaling the beginning of the invasion. The film ends with Ruth's fate uncertain, leaving viewers to wonder if she truly escaped or if the alien managed to take over her body.